The Two Wolves Within, a tale of Ion and Rasa. In a small village nestled between the mountains and the river, there lived two childhood friends, Ion and Rasa. They had been inseparable for years, their friendship forged in the simplicity of shared laughter and countless adventures. The villagers spoke of them as if they were brothers, two sides of the same coin. But inside each of them, a battle raged unseen by the world. Ion was a quiet one, the thinker. He had a heart that overflowed with kindness, and he always sought to see the good in every person. Rasa, on the other hand, was a man of action. He was impulsive, fiery, and often ruled by his emotions. While Ion spent hours pondering life's mysteries, Rasa was quick to act, driven by anger, ambition, and fear of failure. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, casting the world in hues of orange and purple, the two friends sat by the riverbank. The evening was peaceful, yet a storm was brewing within Rasa. His gaze was dark, his brow furrowed, and his voice low. Rasa said, "Ion, I feel like the world is against me. No matter what I do, I can't get ahead. People only seem to take from me. I've worked hard my whole life, yet the rewards are always out of reach. How long must I suffer?" Ion, gazing at the water as it gently flowed by it, didn't answer right away. He had seen the darkness in Rasa for a long time and anger that bubbled under the surface, waiting for an excuse to spill over. Ion said, "Rasa, do you remember the story the elder told us? The one about the two wolves, the battle that lies within us all?" Rasa nodded, though he had never truly understood the meaning behind it. The world to him was one of struggles and competition. There was no time for philosophical thoughts about wolves. Rasa said, yes, the wolves, but they're just stories. I'm tired of stories. I need something real. Something that will help me break free from this life that holds me back. Ion said, "The story is not just a story, Rasa. It's the truth. The battle between the two wolves is real. The good wolf, the one of peace, compassion, and light, can only thrive when we feed it. And the dark wolf, the one of fear, anger, and envy, it will consume us if we give it our power. We must choose which one to feed." Rasa said, "I don't have time for this. I've always fed the dark wolf. It's the only way to survive. If I show weakness, I'll be crushed. I'll never get what I deserve unless I take it." Ion said nothing. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small worn book, a gift from his father. It had been passed down through generations, filled with poems and life lessons. Ion opened the pages to a particular passage and read it aloud. "Sometimes the world tells us to fight fire with fire, but the true strength is in letting go of the flames. Only then can we see the stars in the night sky and feel the peace that follows. To live fully, we must feed the wolf of peace, not the wolf of rage." Rasa looked at him, his face clouded with doubt. Rasa said, "But what if letting go is just weakness? What if peace means giving up? How will I get what I want?" Ion closed the book and placed it gently beside the fire. He turned to his friend, his eyes filled with an understanding only time could bring. Ion said, "I understand your anger, Rasa. I've felt it too. But what we're fighting for is not a victory over others. It's a victory over ourselves. The more you feed the dark wolf, the more he will take from you until you're left with nothing but emptiness. But when you feed the light, the good wolf, you become stronger in ways you can't even imagine. True strength comes from forgiveness, from patience, from knowing that the world doesn't owe you anything, but everything is yours when you give love freely." Rasa said nothing. He looked at Ion with a mix of confusion and resentment. Years passed, and the village changed. Rasa, driven by his ambitions, left for the city to pursue wealth and power. Ion stayed behind, living a simpler life, working with the people, helping where he could. The two friends rarely spoke after that night, but their paths were destined to cross again. One fateful day, many years later, they met again by the river. Ion was sitting quietly, watching the water. Rasa approached, his eyes tired, his face worn. He looked different, successful, yes, but empty. His eyes had lost the spark they once held, replaced by a dullness that came from years of feeding the dark wolf. Rasa said, "Ion, you were right. I thought I could control the world, bend it to my will. But I've lost everything. My friends, my peace, my soul. I fed the wrong wolf. Now I have money, a house, all the materialistic things, but I feel empty. The little things make me angry. I can't feel happiness anymore. I feel like I've lost my life. I've been diagnosed with depression, and now I realize, Ion, you were right. I regret it. I've been feeding the dark wolf, and now it's so big, I feel helpless." Ion smiled softly, not with triumph, but with compassion. Ion said, "The wolves will always be there, Rasa, but it's never too late to choose the light. You can still feed the good wolf, you can still find peace." Rasa sat down beside him, and for the first time in many years he felt a sense of relief wash over him. And so the battle between the two wolves rages on within each of us, every single day. The question is, which one will you choose to feed? The world will try to convince you that strength lies in anger, in greed, in taking what you think you deserve. But true strength, it's found in feeding the wolf of light, of love, of peace. Because when you choose that path, you'll uncover something far more powerful than any fleeting victory. True victory is not about conquering the world around you. It's about conquering the darkness within and cultivating the peace that transforms everything. When you master that, you become unstoppable, not because you fight the world, but because you've learned to find strength in stillness. Subscribe now for more life-changing stories like this, and let's transform our lives together.